My name is Bill Haley for the Facebook page called Competitive Rating Systems. So what is a competitive rating system? It is a way to hold government officials accountable to get high quality information from a wide variety of perspectives right from the get-go, and this will be part of government. So it is part of the competitive governance structure, or it doesn't have to be fully. We can use this for our current government structure, but it will be better with the competitive government structure. Everything goes better when we do more of the reforms I'm suggesting. And this is one of the reforms that's going to make all my reforms that much better. So what is the competitive rating system? Let me go through the bullet points and we'll go from here, but it's going to force a debate between people from different perspectives. It's going to allow even small groups of people, even down to 5% of the population, to get a group called a rating agency, and that group can have legitimate say in what's going on and rate what regulations are and how they're harming, and then to get together and create one good rating system. So let's go through it, and it's going to make all of government better by forcing the proper debate, forcing people to be accountable, preventing abuse and corruption. It has a lot of purposes and a lot of things it will do. And a lot of current government functions, it will start taking over in a lot better way. So let's just go through it, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to want most of my comments on the Facebook page called Competitive Rating System. I have this video up on YouTube and many other social media, but I have the Facebook page called Competitive Rating System. So one of the big factors, or one of the things it's wanting to do, is to prevent abuse and corruption. It wants to limit private sector harm without regulation. So we want to pull back on the heavy amount of regulations we have right now, micromanaging to a large degree regulations of the private sector, so we can pull a lot of those regulations back and replace it with a rating system, so people know what you're getting. So it'll be truth in advertisement type of thing. And if the standards get too low, the rating system has a way of cutting it off, where you can't put standards out there too low. You can't have a building ready to collapse on people. That creates negative externalities. So there'll be ways to do that. High quality information from many perspectives. So we'll talk about how we get many perspectives. High quality, got that already. Many people are rightly concerned with a government rating system. Believe me, I am. We hear about China's rating system and a lot of other rating systems. This is significantly different. It's not the same thing. Look at what I'm doing. The monopoly on those ratings are controlled by politicians and bureaucrats, and that's the reason why there's so much distrust. This will your rating system is going to be able to give you, within your small group of people, 5% of citizens or whatever, they're going to be able say and have real world influence on what you believe, or put the information out there and make people debate. So even a group as small as 5% of the citizens can create a government, with executive, legislative, and judicial power, for the sole purposes of rating government regulations and things that are going on, what government's doing, and you cannot censor it. That has real power in the marketplace. So, and then you can rely on your rating agency. You don't have to rely on everybody else's. You can rely on yours. You can get information from all of them. Trust the ones you want to, but you'll be given one. So the competitive rating system avoids monopoly control by the few politicians that make it really problematic. So the only time this rating system will stop something from happening because of the ratings is when it starts harming other people outside of the transactions, of people choosing to engage in that activity or whatever the case may be. So we'll go from there. Every citizen and business must become a member of a rating agency that matches their philosophy. So all you need is 5% of the citizens, and I do put a upper limit of 20%. So every citizen and every business becomes a member of a rating agency. And quite honestly, in every sector of the economy. I break it into 30 sectors. So you become a member of a rating agency in all 30 sectors. And so when you want to debate education, you can have an education rating system that you choose which one you want to, be 10 to 12 of them, 5 to 10, all the way up to 20% of the people per rating agency. They give out their philosophy. You find people that you trust, and they have real jobs in the government, real incomes, full-time people, government officials, and their job is to rate education or rate environmental controls or rate human resource type of laws such as minimum wage, overtime laws, and all that stuff. So you get to rate and then have that debate, a mandatory debate in there. There is enormous influential power to rate and inform citizens. That's why people are scared of the China rating system because it's done by a monopoly. It has so much power to inform citizens. So we want to take that power and diffuse it, divide it up, and give it to about 10 to 12 different groups. And every citizen joins the one that they want to, and that gives them extra political power. So it's not one big monopoly control over it. Because once you get monopoly control over it, then people start playing games to play to that rating agency and the rating system to get their numbers up. And that's not always good. And people do favors, a lot of corruption comes in there. But you divide that power up, and that corruption goes down dramatically. Every rating agency uses their subjective determination in how and what to rate. So there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all, check the boxes. They can use their subjective determination and determine their ethics, their values, and the like. They have to debate it. They have to state it clearly. They have to give out their ratings and do the proper write-up. And if somebody doesn't, other rating agencies can kind of force them to put their write-up and explain their points, or they lose being a rating agency. So they have to do that debate. If 70% of the rating agencies, measured by membership, decides that low standards are causing general harm to society or people, they can create a rating floor. So you can't get to a point where too many the rating agencies are saying that this company or this regulatory body or this set of regulations are causing harm. You need to up your standards. So there will be a way to do that. So there's that. Standards need to increase above the rating floors. So people have regulatory agencies, private regulatory agencies, or the current government regulations. If they start seeing if the rating agencies rate them too low and 70% rate them below a rating floor, they have to increase their standards. A lot of ways to increase your standards, but that's a way so you don't do general harm to the general public. And that's one of the reasons why people want a monopoly rating agency, because that monopoly can be over everybody. Well, I split it up. Consumers will ensure that good ratings reward positive externalities. Nobody's going to want to go to a restaurant that has very low food safety ratings, and that it has to be on their door. Every rating agency can give that restaurant a rating, and it has to be on their door. So at least the general rating, the average rating. So if a restaurant has very low standards and everybody's rating them very low, the customers are going to show that by not going there. Or, hey, you better have very low prices to compensate. Consumers will ensure poor ratings punish negative externalities, and good ratings reward positive externalities. So if a restaurant has really good food ratings, people are going to go there, pay more money to go there and stuff. Okay, the rating system will have oversight power over law enforcement. So they will be part of the, and I have different methods to do this through different reforms as well, but they would have oversight over law enforcement. So over the, they will have a lot of visibility into the internal affairs of the police department, using rating floors to protect civil liberty, civil rights. So if a cop is out there constantly violating people's civil liberties and civil rights, then the system's going to rate that officer too low, and they're not going to be able to have the badge anymore. They're going to be kicked off the force and not be able to be a police officer. So there's ways to do that. Civil liberties are protected with a 30% vote. That I can explain that in another one, but we want to make sure people have the right to free speech, free association, and the like. And only in the most extreme situations you can't have free associations if you're obviously knowingly going in there to do terrorist attacks or whatever the case may be. That's not going to get, the general population will not allow people not to have civil liberties, the freedom of association, unless you are known to be going in there creating bombs and planning attacks on American citizens and the like, and generally doing illegal things. All rating agencies can demand, within reason, a robust debate. I was just talking about that. So you have to give your reasons of why you're rating what you're rating. So that's part of the rules. Part of the to be a rating agency, that's part of the regulations. You have to give reasons. If you're not giving good enough reasons, other rating agencies can demand that you expand on that, answer questions within reason. A robust debate on all government regulations. So there has to be that robust debate in writing and in video and audio, whatever the case may be. You can have podcasts, you can do a lot of things. It all has to be in writing eventually. But you have to have, but if you're going to put something out and you're going to rely on a study, you have to put out those findings, how you got there, your standards to get there. You cannot just use a study and just not put out all the details surrounding that study. So what's your pretense of knowledge, effects and effects? There's a lot to deal with studies. So if a rating agency thinks that your study is bogus or you're not giving enough information, you have to give out more information, and then people can disregard your study as not very good, or hey, that's a really good study. But hey, peer review and repetition is a big issue with studies right now, and it has been for a long time, and this will get it better. The rating agencies, executives, because they have legislative, executive, and judicial powers, rating agencies executives have real investigative authority over government info. So every rating agency executive, your group of 5% of your citizens in your city or your state, they have real power to look at every piece of information going through government. So whatever the governor's doing, whatever the Department of Transportation leader's doing, they don't have to wait on a freedom of information law. They can go in there and look. By law, they have that authority to go look, and they cannot, and any governor, Department of Defense, Department of whatever. Now, obviously, the Department of Defense might have some classified stuff, but that's why all these people will get the highest rated clearance, security clearance. And if they can't pass it, they can't be the executive that goes and looks. But there'll be a way for these rating agencies to look at what's going on. They might have to have keep things secret, but they can still rate off that information they learned. So there's a lot there, but nothing. And a group of 5% of the people can put one leader out there to look at whatever the government's doing. Period. End of story. Even total classified, nuclear secret type of things. Even the highest of the high. If they can pass that security clearance, they get to look at it. Now they're sworn to secrecy and the like, but But hey, if they see something, even though they're sworn to secrecy, they can come out and say, hey, this is not legitimate whatsoever. I can't tell you about it, but I'm going to give it really low ratings. Then people are going to start saying, hey, what's going on? And the other rating agencies, executives, they look at it and they'll either have a debate behind closed doors or whatever. But anyway, a rabbit trail, but they're going to be able to look at everything. Okay, I want to have rating agencies per sector of the economy. I break it down into 30 sectors. I want to split all government power into 30 sectors, and each one has their separate governments. But just, I'm going to, without going further into that, think about the rating agencies dealing with charity, because we go to a total charity system, get rid of the welfare system. But how is charity working? The rating system is so needed in that. The distribution, I can't say the word right now, splitting up all the money, and how to distribute the money for charities. How is that working? That needs oversight and ratings. That needs it big time. Charity assessor organizations, the caseworkers, they need oversight, and these rating agencies can give that oversight. How are the family law courts working? They need oversight. Religion, that's something different. They are there to fight for religious liberty. So their rating agencies can say, hey, they have real legal power to fight for people's religious liberty. Or if you want to have religion leave you alone, to protect your secular ability to have religion leave you alone. So that's what that would be. Foreign protection system, diplomats need oversight. The rating system for the diplomats, the State Department and the like, oh boy, do they need some oversight. We see that they can get into a lot of problems. They need that oversight. They need somebody looking at them, look for corruption and the like. The commander-in-chief, obviously, they have tremendous amount of power. They need that oversight of the ratings. Military corporations, they need that rating system just to, that's just self-evident. I can go into hour-long conversation about why they need that rating system and that stop the corruption in there. I have a new way of distributing money for the military in a more free enterprise way. And the military capability system is going to be that way, and giving out about $1 trillion in money per year to military corporations. Boy, do you need a lot of oversight in that one. So a rating system just for that one. And then who's authorized to be in the military, to hold a badge, to hold the power of an officer. Who in this obviously is a part of government that is just tremendously important, and they need ratings. The crime prosecutors, the defense attorneys, and the like, they need that oversight. Judges and the like. Law enforcement, obviously, the police need that oversight. The internal affairs type of oversight, but people just like, they're not respecting people's civil liberties. Let's take away their badge. Law enforcement authorization, people who give out those badges, they need that oversight, because with that's tremendous power. The judicial authority, that's the courts. Boy, do they need that oversight. The judges and the like. There's a lot of there's potential for a lot of corruption in that industry, and there is to some degree. It depends on what you think is a lot. Obviously, prisons and corrections. Which prisons are doing their jobs well? What prisons are not? Or what's the long-term results? That is tremendously important to have a good rating system within that. Competitive rating system within the healthcare industry and FDA. Boy, do we need competitive ratings in what drugs get approved, and why would you wait for this drug with the COVID vaccine and the like? What's going on there? So whether it's good, bad, from 12 different perspectives. Right now we have a group of people that are heavy-handed, and every perspective has to be shown. By law, within the system, everybody gets to put out their system, and they cannot be they cannot have their mouths covered. They cannot be censored on this one. within the financial industry, boy, there's a lot of power and money in banking regulations. And what's a good banking regulations, what's not a good banking regulations, what bank is doing well, which bank is not doing well. That needs some good ratings. Can you imagine putting ratings on each bank? You can say that we kind of have that now, because some banks are rated AAA and some are AA and the like. This will be tremendously important, especially that debate portion of that. And believe me, the healthcare and the medicine, that debate is needed. That was so needed. A lot of trust was lost during that COVID era. Those years of COVID, and still now, a lot of people do not trust the FDA and the government around that. Okay, insurance, and this deals with a lot. I go into Social Security, is going to be into this one. Just general insurance companies, what regulations are good, which ones are bad, what's the ratings per big insurance company. Give the individual citizen, the consumer of insurance plans, give them the ratings and the information needed from many different perspectives. So important. Over food, there's a lot of food regulations that are, I know it's not in the news a ton, but there's still a lot out there that needs to be addressed. Competitive rating system for education, oh boy, that's just a lot to deal with. Competitive rating system for human resources and sales, that's dealing with labor law. Boy, there's a lot of debate on just minimum wage, but also a lot of other labor law, overtime laws and stuff. So 12 different perspectives. You group up with people who either like this economist or that economist, or 12 different versions of that. So there's a lot there. Competitive rating system on identity, personal and business. I'm not going to get into that right now. What that is, I'll talk more about that in other videos. Here's other areas where we need tremendous debate from many perspectives. Environmental, obviously we need the perspectives and the mandatory debate. Whether it's global warming or this regulation or that regulation, should we do pipelines or haul it over in trucks. Work safety and disability, there's a lot of regulations on that, and that needs that debate and ratings on that. Transportation, dealing with the roads, should we get safer roads? Should we put this regulation in or that regulation in? Media and communication, there's a lot to be there, a lot to be said in that one. Land and water, obviously there's a lot there. So a lot of things to be discussed. A lot more can be found at Haley2024.org. And until the next video.